If your business has several branches scattered around the globe and you always want to know how much profit they made at the end of the day, so at the end of the day or by the next day, every morning, you want them to send you a progress report of the previous day to tell you how much money was made. This is a simple system that you can have that would always, send you a report of, the sales that was made the previous day in each of your branches. You can just set this up and it will work for each of your branches. So let me just show you what I mean. This is very simple. Of course, this is like, let's say small business scale level, but if you want an enterprise level, you might have to consider other things. But this is just like small business level scale that we are trying to build here. So to build this, you are going to use Zapier. So Zapier, like I always say, is a very beginner AI automation tool that you can use to build AI automation. You can use to automate processes in your business. So once you sign up, this is the dashboard that you will see. To create a Zap, you can simply just click here, or if you come to create here, you're going to see the same list. So you can just click on Zaps here. So our trigger is going to be every day. So we want it to run every morning and send us the sales details of the previous day, right? You can do this every evening if that is what you would prefer. You would prefer that it sends you at the close of business. So maybe your business closes by 5 p.m. So you schedule this to be running every 5 p.m. and pull, the data and of the sales data and send it to you. So whatever you would prefer. So let's say for this particular one, we prefer for it to send us the next morning, right? So what we're going to do is schedule this. So our event is going to be every day here. So we click continue here. So what we want to do is choose our time. Like I said, every morning we want it to send us the previous day's sales report every morning. So I think I'll do 8 a.m. But if you prefer 7 a.m. when you are trying to plan for your day or all of that, that also works. So let me do that 7 a.m. and I continue this. Test the trigger. And yeah, it has pulled up something for me, so I just continue with the selected trigger, which now takes me to my second step. And my second step is going to be the step that searches my database to pull up all the cells. Because one thing that is important is that your team or your sales team always documenting all of the cells they make. So every time they make a cell, they have to document it. So that way it's going to go into our sales database and pull up all the cells that we made the previous day. So you can use a table for this example. Let me just use Google Sheet. So my action here is going to be for it to, I want it to get many spreadsheet rows like this. So I want it to get a bunch of rows. So because every time, they sell something or there is an order, they'll come and, create a row. So I want it to, pull those rows for me, right? So I'll do continue here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose where I'm going to do my Google Drive. And then the spreadsheet name is going to be, I think, inventory. Do I have orders here? Let me be sure. Okay, so I have orders here and this is my orders dashboard. So I'm going to go back and choose that. Yeah, so my worksheet is going to be these orders. And then you can do your row count depending on how much sales they make in your business. You can do this as high as 50. So every time it's running, it pulls 50 rows for you. The first row here is 2 because I have headers, like you can see here. So that's why my first row is 2. So it will start pulling from the second row. And I'll leave this as it is and I continue this. So I can test step here. So it has put a bunch of rows for me. So that is working perfectly. So I'll move to the next step, which is going to be my formatter. So what I want to do, like I said, is pull my previous day's data. So I only want to pull previous day's data. I don't want to pull data from 2 days back, 3 days back. I only want to pull the orders that they sold or the items that we sold yesterday. So that's why I need that formatter. So I'm going to click on this formatter here. So I'm going to choose an action event here, which is going to be my date and time. And I'll continue here. And what I want to do is compare dates. So I'll do compare dates. And then my start date is going to be when that order was placed. That's what will come from my get sales here. That's what will come from my get many records here. So I'm going to do, I think there is an order date here. So let me check what that order date looks like. Okay, yeah, this is my timestamp. So that's when the order was placed. So I'll do my timestamp here. And then my end date is going to be the date from my first schedule, my first module, which was the module that runs every day. So I'm going to pick the end dates to come from there because that's when it's currently running. So it picks up the date of that time when it's running. So that's the date I want to compare. So I want to compare the date that order was created and the time the automation is running, right? So I leave this as it is and I'll just do continue. So I can test this step to see what I'm going to get here. So I see the number of days here, and I see the hours here, I see the minute here. So that is working correctly. So if I go back here, so yeah, this order was made on 15th of 2nd, and today is 1st of 3rd. So that's why I have almost 15 days. So, and how many days do I even have though? Okay, it's 13 days. So the how many days difference is 13 days. So I'm going to add my next module, my next step, which is going to be the filter step. So it's only going to filter by the number of day difference. So if the day difference is 1, that means that it was yesterday. So it's going to pull up that data. Those are the only ones I want it to pull for me. So I'm going to add a step here, and I'm going to add my filter here. Let me minimize this to the normal place. So what I'm going to take here is going to be my days here, which is this exactly matches. I'll do 1. So that means that the day that the order was created and the day that this automation is running, the difference between those two dates should be 1, meaning that that was yesterday. I don't know if that makes sense. I really hope that made sense. So I'll click continue here. And I click continue here again, and it takes me to the next step, which is going to be, and this step is going to be a little tricky because this step is going to run my code for me, which is going to calculate the profit. But if you don't know how to do that, so I'll do code here, and this is what I'm going to get here. So I have code by Zapier, and then my event here is going to be run JavaScript, and I click continue. Then my input here is going to be the data that it will be calculating, which is going to be my price. What is my price here again? So this is price. So that's what I will be calculating. So I'm looking for 1,000 here. Yeah, so this is the price, and I can just call it this. So for my code here, so this is what I will be running, right? So what I simply did is ask it to accumulate all of the I wanted to accumulate all of the prices in that particular column for me. So that's what I wanted to do, right? And then I just click continue. And if I test this, it's going to work for me. But because this is a little complicated and you might not really know the code, so we are going to delete this. And we are going to do add a step here again. But what we want to do is ask our Copilot to run that for us because we really don't know how to create that, those codes. So we want it to create the codes for us itself. So in our Copilot, we will say, I want to add a step that will add all my order amount and calculate the profit I made. So that's what I wanted to do. So you just click on here and it's going to go ahead and add that particular step for you. Also add the codes and do everything for you. So you really don't have to bother about the codes, right? So let's wait for it to do that for us. So it says if the amount is in column B or C. No, the amount is in column H. So answer it. So it's asking if the profit should be the total of all other amounts, and that's just what we want. Yes, the profit will be a total of all. I know I'm not supposed to call it profit, so but what you just want to know is your other amount, right? Not your profit, rather. So, but I started calling it profit, so let's just keep it that way. But what you really just want to know is how much sales was made. That's what you really just want to know because you don't want, a situation where they're making some sales and they don't tell you about it. So you want to know how much sales was made in your business. That's what you actually want to know, not the profit. But since I started calling it profit right from the start, let's just keep calling it profit. Although we know it's not profits that we're looking for, rather we are trying to get the amount of sales that was made. Will be a total of all other amounts. Yeah, so you see, that's not going to add that code back for us. Yeah, so now it has put this back, the same code that I had for us, and then we click on continue, so we can go ahead and test this step to see the data that we are going to get out. So if I maximize this so I can see the data that came out, this is the data that went in. So now I want to see the output data here. So you see the total profit here is 2,000. So I think let me change this to. I think I want to change this to total sales, because this is not actually profit, this is sales. So we do total sales, and then we do total sales. So let me go back up and change all the profit to sales. If I retest the step, let me see, so give me total sales instead. Yeah, okay. So it has changed that. So we now have the output here is total sales. So the next thing that we want to do here is have it send it to us. So maybe you can send it to us as Slack, you can send it to us as email, or whatever you would prefer. So let's just say in this example, I would prefer you to send it to me on Slack. So what I'm going to do is add a step here. So I'll do Slack here. So I'll do this. And let me minimize this. So my action here is going to be for you to send a direct message, because I don't want you to send it to everybody. I just want you to send it to me only. That's the business owner. I'm the only one that needs that data. I don't think any other business person might need it. I don't think anybody in my team might need it. But if you have a team that there is another person apart from you that needs, the sales data, you can also add that here. You can maybe you have a channel and you can add that, whatever you prefer. So you do continue here. And then to the username, you choose the name here. I think I want to send it to this one. And then here is a total of sales that was made yesterday. So you can also add the date as well, and that's going to be the date that will come from here, because the date is going to come from, let's see this. I don't want to pull it as the timestamp that it is. See the way it's looking? I really don't want to pull it as a timestamp, but I feel like I don't have any other choice unless I add a formatter that is going to, split it into two for me. So I can add this step, which is total sales, and then I can map it to what I got from here, which is total sales here. And do I want it to send it as a bot? I can say, yeah, I want it to send it as a bot, or I can say whichever one you prefer. You can ask it to send it as a bot. You can say sales bot, you can call it sales bot, and then I don't need a link to the Zapier. I feel like I will leave everything the way it is, and I'll click continue, and I will test step to see how the message is going to come into our. So see this. Here is a total sales for what was made yesterday. Total sales, we have that, but if you would prefer something else, if you prefer that it does not send it as a bot, that it should send it as a human, then you can also change that. Once you are okay with how this looks, just click publish here. See, and your Zap is live. So now every morning, this app is going to go into your data, is going to go into the sales database, pull up all the sales that was made the previous day, calculate the total sales, and send you that figure, right? I really hope you found this useful. I hope you set this up for yourself today, and that will take away that stress and that time of going back into the sales record every day to go and look at sales and try to calculate how much was, how much was made in sales the previous day. I really hope you found this useful, and I'm going to see you in my next one. So have a nice day. Bye bye.